Well, hello, my beautiful friends of TikTok. I am so sorry. I have not been on here for, I think, a couple days. I think I dropped a few videos a few days ago. I haven't. Hello, Milt. It's nice to see you. I haven't dropped a video. Brown, it's nice to see you as well. Hunter, it's nice to see you. April, Vicky. This is related to Riley Strain. I haven't made a video yet. Usually I make a video and then I go live, but I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I haven't gone live in a few days anyways, so we need to be talking about the path of travel. That's why I went ahead and put this up here for Strain. Riley Strain was obviously inebriated. Hi, oh, thank you, Danny. Was obviously very inebriated when he was walking down. So we got a little bit of more background information on what really actually transpired earlier in that evening when it came to Riley and his friends, because he was out with his fraternity brothers. And so what had happened is they had been bar hopping. So I don't know how many hours before this particular event happened, but I have to think that due to his condition, it was they started early in that day. I mean, he was completely, fallen down. You saw him. So there's a few things that happen, and while I can't show you here on this live, I will be trying to explain it a little bit better in a video that I will be producing and getting out. I don't know, probably evening time today. I think it'll be enough time for me to get it completely prepared. But he was awfully inebriated, and he also had a terrible fall. I don't know if you need to go back and watch those initial videos that were coming out when he was walking down the road. He was walking in the opposite direction of the hotel that they were staying in. He was going into a very sketchy part of the community at a nighttime hour, being alone, being intoxicated. Now, there is a point between the two bridges that he just disappears. He's on one camera and he never reappears on the camera a block away. So it tells me something happened right there in that half block radius. Whether he fell, he hurt himself, or whatever, something happened right in and around this radius. I would say right here. This is between the two bridges right there. And so he was right here when he disappeared. So I'd have to think that something happened here. Now, there are two major things that are going on in this case. He's inebriated and walking alone, and he's around a lot of homeless people. There's a lot of homeless people along this stretch, and even homeless camps along this stretch as well. And near one of these homeless camps near the water is where his bank card was found, from my understanding. This is the issue I have, is that there is one gentleman that's part of the homeless population out there, and there was an interview where they focused on his shoes. I don't know if you guys watched that interview or not. I can't even remember what station. I ran it on my show this morning on YouTube, so you can go over there and look at it if you can't find it. But he was talking about how he was walking and he heard a commotion, which is what made him turn around. And he saw Riley in the bushes, and somebody's like, oh, it's okay. He's just drunk. He's okay. And it makes me wonder, of course, with us not knowing what could have happened to him and him being there by himself in that condition, it makes me wonder, did somebody assault him? And of course, it was just easy to pass off because everybody saw him stumbling everywhere, and him being in the bushes, it's a little conspiracy theory, but it could have happened. It really could have happened. Now, the other thing is that he fell or got lost and ended up in the water somewhere. And somehow I did reach out to Chronicles of Olivia, which is on the ground, and she was right here off of this area right here off of First Avenue North. She was there. She was actually right here doing some live coverage of that. And so I asked her, because many people are asking what the condition and the current is in the water. And she said there's a flow, but it's not like the rapids out there, So it's not like it can carry him too far. And we know that the boats are in the water out there. So where could he be? I feel like he's right under their nose. I feel like something happened to him, because it comes back to that fall. The fall that he had where you couldn't really see how he hit his head. He was running, he tripped, and it looked like he fell into a light pole or concrete, and it had a concrete base. And after that, his head starts going down, and as he's walking along the wall, and I keep wondering if he sustained a head injury, and that as he walked, he just fell over into some brush, fell over, the embankment, just somewhere like right there. He was right there. So if he's not there, if he's physically not there, the only other thing I can think of is that guy talking to him. The homeless guy said there was somebody talking to him. He saw it when he turned around and seen the commotion. He turned around and he said, it's okay. He's drunk. It's okay. That's what he specifically said. He's drunk. He's okay. Could that have been a bad guy trying to get people away so they can have a car pick him up, so he can be robbed, so he can be drug off? We don't know, but we do know there was somebody else with Riley that night. The night he disappeared. But I keep wanting to caution, because so far nobody's really been talking about a foul play aspect. So I keep in his condition, and I really think, because this is just recently, they've pulled out recently from this stretch of water, maybe not this specific stretch of water, but the Culver, what is it, Culverton or something, like whatever the name of it is, the waterway here. There's been several people pulled out of this over the last year. I think in 2023, we had 4 or 5 people pulled out of this. One was in Clarksville, but many of them were in the Nashville area. So this is not uncommon where people are getting intoxicated and falling into the water. The railing's really not that high. It's just right up to thigh level. So it's very easy for somebody to stumble and hit just right and go into that water. But this also brings me back when I was doing the research on how many people have wound up in this water and have had to be pulled out. It kind of brings me back to the Ladybird. Have you guys heard about Ladybird in Texas? It's in Austin, Texas. The Ladybird Lake. There was a lot of they pulled out like 10 people in like 20 months. It was really kind of creepy. It kind of, and everything just stopped, I guess, from what I'm understanding, as they were there and then they stopped. And then I'm starting to look here, and it's like every few months. They're in 2023. I think they had one in June, one in July, a couple in September, pulling people out of this stretch, not necessarily this stretch, but this water body. So it makes me wonder, how many other people are out there? Is there something else going on a little more nefarious, like the Ladybird Lake issue? We got to ask the question. We don't know what happened to the kid, and we hope he's okay, but obviously he hasn't been heard, seen. He hasn't tried to reach out to any family or friends. So we're kind of getting a gist of what we're dealing with here, just with those facts alone. It's not looking good. But then comes the next thing. Was it accident or was it something more? And of course, nobody's going to be able to know until he's found. But it's not looking good. I will give a shout out. Social media does get a bad name. But we really do try, especially people like me. And Riley Lively had 2 TikTokers on there, and they were searching, and God bless them. I whether I like somebody or not, and I've never said I didn't like anybody, but just whether I like somebody or not, if somebody's getting out there and really trying to give it their best effort, we should be supporting that. And I'm very thankful that people do go out and search behind areas that are already searched, because I believe that that's what found this card, and they had that. And I have to give a shout out to the cyber sleuths. Cyber sleuths are out there and map these things and look at these things, dig in deep, and that's what brought them into that area to begin with. And so many of you guys know Riley Lively was featured in Cyber Sleuths. So I just thought it was really good, that this is promoting at least some good positivity from the true crime community and, social media creators, because we're here to try to help. I don't think any of us really go out there to hinder a case, but we give it our best, and we do what we're entitled and allowed to do by law. And as long as we keep it there, then, law enforcement can work around us and do what they need to do. But I'm ultra thankful, because think of how many people have already passed that card many times. And because of these curious TikTokers, there was found, a key piece of evidence was found. So this is huge. And just a big shout out to the social media creators out there that really do give this stuff their all and put themselves out there, because I just think it's just under appreciated. And, we get a lot of bad names and stuff like that when we're really just trying to help. And here's a great example of how that work helped, and why you should always be making sure that you like their content if you like them, and you support them in any way that you can, because if you can't go out there, they're the ones out there. These two young girls are out there. They found a key piece of evidence. So God bless them for that. And just a big shout out to them. So I just wanted to come on here just for a little bit and talk about Riley Strain, talk about where he is. But I really think that he is still right here. I mean, to be honest with you, nothing's really pointing to the foul play aspect. Even the debit card, it could be a multitude of things where he just fell and it fell out because he was so inebriated. And if that's the case, there's no place for him to be except right here. They still haven't found his phone. We have people talking about the shirt. His shirt is on a potential another person. But to be honest with you, I also found out some information about the shirt. Everybody keeps calling the shirt the black and white shirt. Apparently, it's not black and white. It's black and tan, or like a light cream. It's not really actually white. In the videos, it looks white because those are black and white images, but it's actually a black and tan, like a cream color shirt that he was wearing. So, then it kind of makes me wonder about that other person that was speaking about the homeless person coming to the homeless shelter and having a black and white shirt similar to that kid's. She didn't say black and tan or black and cream. And his friends, because I released the 911 call on my show this morning. So the call I didn't release to the public, obviously. Somebody else did. That's how I got it. But I released it on my show for the first time. And I didn't pick up on it until the second playing of it, that the kid said a black and brown shirt. And I stopped and I'm like, black and brown? And I looked at the shirt again in the video, and I pulled away, and then I looked at it again, and I'm like, is that tan or cream? And they told me that's the Garth Brooks shirt or something like that. And so they said it's a cream color. So it's not even a black and white shirt. So now that kind of makes me question whether that homeless person really was wearing Kyle. Oh, thanks, Fresh Grace. I appreciate it. God bless you. Was actually wearing Riley's shirt or not. So that was the problem I had, because now we have a better description of the shirt. Oh, thank you. God bless you guys. So that's interesting. That's new information. So we need to quit saying black and white shirt, because it really wasn't a black and white shirt. It was a black and cream or a black and tan, but a slightly browner color on that light color than it being white. It wasn't white from the understanding. So check out that 911 call. That's going to be important. But I'm going to drop all these videos down here in a little bit. But this is the area that we need to focus on. If anybody's out in that area and wants to look, like, I'm serious, like, all the information is leading to this being just an accident, a tragic accident. We know he hit his head really hard along this path. It was right there at that light pole. He was running, and he just face planted the concrete. And he was so inebriated, he could have done some damage to him that may have taken a while. Like, brain swelling is not instantaneous, y'all. When people get in motorcycle accidents, they may be conscious. They may be just fine. They may be fine for a good half hour. And then, boom, their brain is swollen to the point that it's starting to get, because you got a rough skull inside. And when it starts doing that, you start not doing well. You start getting really sick. And after he did that, he was kind of hanging his head down like this as he was walking along the wall. And I'm just thinking, is that him still being intoxicated? Or is that him having some real major signs? Oh, thank you, Danny. Major signs of he hit his head too hard. This might be something where he walked it, guys, and literally keeled over. And he just happened to be right at a spot where when he went over, it's kind of swallowed him up. But there is that real possibility that he didn't something just happened to him and he was so drunk he just walked into the water and floated off. This is something where we clearly saw him hit his head or potentially hit his head very, very hard on concrete and then continue to walk and disappear. So there's many things that could be going on here from him. And two of the possibilities are, one's a medical event, one's an accidental, alcohol, event like drowning, accidental drowning. And then, of course, you have something a lot worse, which is more nefarious, foul play. There still is a good possibility of foul play because nobody knows what happened to him. And again, he was seen with another person along his path. We have corroborated information. And not only that, but that homeless guy spoke to law enforcement about what he saw. So we definitely know law enforcement has the information. They know there is another person that they need to question if they haven't already located that person. I'm not sure if the homeless person was able to give them the description of who they saw with him. But there was somebody that said he's just drunk, he's okay. So obviously, I wouldn't be too concerned with it if this kid didn't disappear, but considering this kid did disappear along that trail, everybody's suspect to me until he's found and it's located that that this was just a terrible, tragic accident. We don't know what happened to him, and I think we need to start talking about outside the box because let's face it, when we deal with these type of cases and somebody accidentally drowned or fell and lost their life, if they're above ground, they're usually found. He has not been found yet. So this idea that we shouldn't be talking about the potential of foul play when he was in a crime-ridden area, completely inebriated and barely able to walk, I don't know what we need to do, but this whole accident theory doesn't appear to be holding a whole lot of water if they can't find him. So at some point, we need to start looking at this in a completely different lens. That somebody that he met with foul play. I don't want to push that envelope just yet because people are still in the area. There was just yesterday was just when the card was found, so I want to give that time to develop. But if we're not talking about the foul play aspect of this real soon, I'm going to start beating that drum because let's face it, he hasn't been found. They have boats out there, animals out there, dogs tracking, hound dogs tracking. They've got people out there. They've got, TikTokers and other searchers out there. Nobody's found this boy. Nobody's found this boy, but there is one other situation that I want you guys to just listen to. This is a true story. And this goes back to kind of the Brian Kohberger case, and you guys may or may not remember this. When he was in Pennsylvania and arrested, and we started looking at the timeline related to him, we found out that, because everybody was wondering, is this his first time, right? Brian Kohberger. He was able to get into a house and unalive 4 beautiful University of Idaho students in their off-campus housing in the middle of the night or middle of the morning, however you want to look at it. And so everybody's looking into his background. Well, we found out this woman by the name of Dana Smithers. She disappeared in and around his community, or at least, within some distance from him, but definitely doable if somebody wanted to go for a trial run, or if this wasn't their first time. So a lot of people's attention was to the Dana Smithers case. And she just walked out of her house and went to a friend's house, and then all of a sudden just disappears, and nobody's ever seen her again. It's like she almost just disappeared from walking from her next door neighbor's house to her house. And everybody went and started searching for her, and nobody could find her. Nobody could find her. There was a drug history with her, so there was always that fear if she might have got back into that and, something happened like OD or something like that. Well, they ended up finding her in the bushes, not too far from her house. I lost track of that case. I don't remember what happened, and I haven't looked into it in a while. But it just goes to show you that even with all of the equipment and everything like that, and the hound dogs, mistakes can be had and things can fall through. And, that is what it is. So it's like, is he in the bushes? I keep wondering that. Did he just keel over because of that head injury? And is he like right there? And I feel like he's just right there. But again, we may have to start moving this needle over because nobody's finding him. And I have to think that at this point, with them looking in the water, with the sonar equipment on land, a card is found in a peculiar area. There is some, this does hold water where it could potentially be foul play. So I'm interested in finding out the findings of this, but we're staying on it. Again, here's kind of the timeline when he left the bar, which was 20 minutes to 10, where he's seen on camera at 9:43. Then you come up here, and this is where he falls. So at 9:45 is where he has that terrible fall on the concrete, and it almost looks like he hits the bottom of that light pole. But even if he didn't hit the bottom of that light pole, it is still possible his head hit the concrete sidewalk. I mean, he fell really, really hard. This is where he crosses the street that we see with the people, and he's kind of does like a little turnaround, like he finally realizes he's not with anybody he knows and he doesn't know where he's at. And then, then we're starting to get up to where he last pinged and was last seen on video footage. And somewhere in this area here is where they believe he disappeared. He never made it to the camera up here. So this is kind of his path of travel right through the community there. And again, not going in necessarily the right direction of his hotel. Could he have tried to cut through? Could he have, up here decided, oh, this is a great place to cross, and get caught up in the water? I mean, we don't know. Could he have fallen off here? There is some low, there's some steep embankments there with just, knee-high barricades. Somebody that's intoxicated could definitely hit that just right and fall over. So I looked at it myself. I watched all the videos I could possibly watch on Twitter, on YouTube, on all other sources I have. I've been really trying to monitor this, and it just seems like this would be the ideal spot. And if he's not there, we need to be asking other questions. We're not asking the right questions. Somebody knows something, and, we've seen him. What happened to him at that moment? Did he get in a car? Was he abducted? We need to start looking, because at this point, time's ticking away, and we know we have a problem here in the United States, especially some real sick people preying on the vulnerable. And I'd have to say Riley was pretty vulnerable that night. He was like a little kitten out there with a pack of wolves. Think of it like that. He was completely defenseless. He didn't know where he was. He was away from his friends. He was so far inebriated, he really didn't know what he was doing. I truly just think he was walking because that's what he thought he needed to do. I don't even think he knew why he was walking. He looked so inebriated to me. And it's sad because, our young kids are going to go out there and enjoy themselves, and we want them to enjoy themselves, and we want them to have the university life. And the university life is a little, messy, it's a little sick too, you hug a toilet or two. while you're at a university. It's expected. It's what, parents don't like seeing it or hearing it, but let's face it, we all expect it, okay? We all expect to get the call that our kid did something stupid, but we pray to God it doesn't take their life, I really think is the truth. And we want to make sure that they're happy and healthy and can have fun in a somewhat controlled environment. But times, this is one of those things where we just need to be talking to our kids and saying, hey, we expect you to be a little irresponsible, but please, if you're going to be irresponsible, then let's be irresponsible, in a group setting. So anyways, guys, you guys take care. God bless. We'll talk soon. Peace out. Rock 'em out with your coffee beans out.